Well, hello, people. It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and I want to talk about cops. Keep in mind this is a casual conversation. Don't have a whole lot of numbers in front of me. But we're going to talk about it. Recently, somebody sent me back to a case from 2011, which was the beating of Thomas Kelly. For those you don't know who Thomas Kelly was, he was in Fulton County, which I think is in California. I'm not sure about that. But he was a homeless man, and there's a 33-minute tape of his evident death. What happened was two officers, Ramos and Cardinelli, came up and started questioning him. The questioning lasted about 10 minutes. And during that period, the officers started to entice Kelly. Basically, he had some sort of bodily injury. He had a mental handicap, and his motor skills weren't that good. And Kelly was by no means a great de-escalator in this series either. Basically, the officer wanted Kelly to put his legs straight out from his hands on his knees, and when Kelly was having trouble doing this and even refused to do this at some times because he was getting multiple orders, he essentially, Ramos enticed him to the point where he was going to get physical. So the cop ended up striking him, and then they got into a altercation which spilled out into the street, and no less than 6 some odd cops ended up beating this man to death. And that's the bad part about it. That's the bad part about cops in general. And I'm just going to go on a spew here. It's a little lecture. A lot of people know I don't like the police force. I mean, I understand that they do a good job. I understand not all of them are bad. But for the most part, the ones I've met suck ass. I mean, and I'd go so far as to say 80% of every police officer I've ever met was somebody I detest in real life. And it's obvious some people, because they do have a crappy job, they pretty much deal with the scum of the earth 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But at the same time, they have evidence of power even when they're not dealing with the scum of the earth. Let's take my town for example, Conway, South Carolina. 16% of our entire city budget is made up by traffic violations. There is no less than 18 troopers on duty at any time in Conway, South Carolina, and there's never a time that you can go to Conway and back without seeing at least 2 traffic stops. Myself personally, I took the time to learn where they like to sit. I've learned all the codes they like to do. One of their new favorites is there's a new 4-way stop on 9th Avenue and Palmetto Street, and a cop likes to sit into the church parking lot in the shadows, and he will time your stop. In South Carolina state law, you have to stop for a total of 3 seconds. If you stop 1.5 seconds, it's considered what most people call a California roll. And then you got your $124 ticket, which let's go and talk about that for a minute. Tickets, traffic tickets. Standard speeding ticket, 15 miles over, around here is $180. Out of that $180, I think 75... No, it's a $50 fine. So 120 of the 180. Or is that right? 130. I'm sorry. 130 out of that 180 is actually a court fee that goes straight to the court. And that other $50 is split up between the state 80-20. 80 goes to the city fund. 50 goes to the city fund, and the other 30 goes to the city fund for like cops, police officers, and things like that. And the other $20 goes to the state government fund that funds the states for like road works, schools, spousal abuse, and things like that. So that's how tickets break down. That's how it works. So essentially, you have a large portion going straight to the courthouse, which is $120, $130. I'm sorry. Last year South Carolina pulled in somewhere along the lines of $65 million in traffic tickets for the courthouse. Who in the fucking courthouse makes $65 million? I have no fucking clue. And they don't go into specifications where that money goes past that point. But a little town like Conway has $65 million into the court system. I bet there's some fat paid judges somewhere. Somehow. But I don't know. Traffic tickets are sham, and like lately I've been seeing them kind of crunch down on people about warning people about traffic violations. And that's against the Constitution, my friend. What kind of Gestapo bullshit is this when you can't warn somebody about a speed trap? I've only been caught for speeding twice in my life, 2 times. And both of these times were by the same cop at the same area in the same spot. What it is there's a school zone near my house, and that school zone is 12. It's 35. It's 35 for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 6 months a year, or so 8 months, 8 months a year. I don't know how school long is. However long school is. So there's 2 hours out of the day that spot of that road is 35 miles an hour, and it's on a curve bend. So they'll sit on the bend and they'll wait for you because the sign's just before the curve. So generally, if you're like me, when I see a speed sign that says 35 miles an hour and I'm going, let's say 50, as soon as I see the sign, I start to slow down. What they do is by the time you get around that curve, you're going about 41 miles an hour, and they'll pop you with that radar gun, and they'll get you with an 11-mile over ticket, or however fast you were going, and make lots of money doing this. Lots of money doing this, just like the four-way stop. That four-way stop paid for itself. And who does this help? Who does this protect? Seriously, if you wanted to protect the school students, not only would you not make a curve in front of the school, you would paint the word school on the road. You'd put some type of yellow light up. You'd make more than one. You could make more than one light evident. You would basically let people know that hardcore you're going into a school zone. But here, no, you have one white sign that has small writing on it that lets you know the times. It's very hard to read from your car. I know exactly what the times are, but the shit slips your mind. You slips your mind that, oh, I have to do this. No, I see a speed sign. It's like, okay, I'm going to slow down. And boom, you still get popped. But I'm not here about being bitter about that. I'm here about being bitter about a couple things. Basically, the freedom of speech. Where do people get off with these fucking speed traps where people want to tell other drivers about them? They have the all right to. Because speed traps don't help anybody. 7% of all motor vehicle accidents in 2010, only 7% had speed to do with it. Most people get in motorized vehicle accidents from lack of attention, more so than speed. People putting on makeup, people eating while driving, people talking on a cell phone, driving under the influence, anything that takes the attention of the driver away, fiddling around, looking for papers, dropping something in your floorboard. These are the 93% that most accidents happen. These are the reasons that happen. Speed has very little to do anything with it. And you know, I'm going on a tangent here. That's what these videos are about. Another thing that really bothers me is too fast for conditions. Bitch, motherfucker. What the hell is too fast for conditions? That's like some disorderly conduct. You don't know how fast I was going because you weren't there, and you're only determining I was going too fast based off what you see. What is too fast for conditions? It's bullshit. But speeding violations are a sham or fraud, and they're a way for your local governor and your local mayor to line their pockets and drive nice new BMWs. That's what they're there for. Like, why does Conway, South Carolina need Chargers? We have brand new Dodge Chargers, 2013. We don't have 2014s yet, I'm sorry, but they're probably on back order. They're probably waiting on them because, you know, 1 year on a cruiser, that's just too much. Police need better than that. I mean, you know, we got 3 or 4 Chargers. We have those supercharged Impalas. They put out those supercharged V6s. You know, every squad car we have has like an assault rifle in the back of it. I don't even think we have a Crown Victoria anymore. Those are old hack. Because we make so much motherfucking money. Hell, the dog catcher, which is done through Horry County Police, drives brand new F-150s. Here's the thing. Conway is a very safe town. I can only think of, off the top of my head, one major murder in my life. There's been smaller like murders, basically like shooting and passions, but only one major murder. That was Ken Register. We've had, dude, pretty much the only thing you're gonna get in Conway is drugs. That's it. That is it, and most of it's marijuana and like pain pills and things like that. That's all you're gonna find. You might find the occasional spousal abuse, but you might find the occasional robbery, but that's few and far between too. I can't remember. I think the last robbery I remember was the one I was in. That was movie gallery. That was way the fuck back there. I don't even remember what year that was, and it's ridiculous. I put a video up on my channel a long time ago. If you want to see it, you're going to find it. I put it in my 1 million view video of a wreck that happened in front of our house. When that wreck happened in front of our house, no less than 8 cops showed up. 8 motherfucking cops, dog. That is 8. Yeah, 8. 8 cops showed up. Why? To ride the fucking clock. They all responded to the one call they had. And it's ridiculous. And I mentioned Kelly Thomas again. I know this is ranting on. But I mentioned Kelly Thomas, and this is something I've always had a beef with cops, is the police brutality stuff. First off, you had the Toronto guy who got shot in the train car because he had a knife. He's not the only person to ever get shot because he had a knife. You have 6 or 7 fucking armed cops standing around him, and they're worried about a knife, dude. Tasers are there for a reason. The taser is for disarming people with knives and billy clubs and things like that, so you don't hurt yourself. And even then, you could probably still disarm a guy with a knife without hurting yourself. You seriously could. Do you want to take the risk? No, that's why you use the taser. But a guy that's unarmed, you should never use the billy club. You should never use the taser. Two cops is all you need to disarm one guy. I don't care how big he is. I don't care how strong he is. I don't know too many people in this world that can take 2 full-grown adult cops at the same time. I don't know any of them. And yes, there's other things you should have to worry about. What if they get your gun? Don't give them the chance. Take your gun off your belt, throw it in the cruiser. What are you going to do? I mean, your job is to do stuff safely, serve and protect. I don't ever see them serve anybody. How many times you seen a cop roll by somebody with a flat tire? It's not their job. They don't want the state get sued. Don't want to lose any of that $65 million. I mean, because, the judge needs his 3rd house. I don't know. I'm sitting here being biased at this point. I think the whole idea of this commentary was, fuck cops. Seriously. There's very few of you out there that are decent people.